once I got into pharmacy school, I wasn't playing sports anymore, and I played sports my whole life. Like since I was like 4 years old, I was always a part of a team of some sort. And when I got into pharmacy school, I loved it, but there was like a piece of my heart that was missing. And I wasn't exactly sure what it was. I tried to get involved in a lot of different clubs with pharmacy, which was awesome. So I was doing a lot of volunteer work, and that was great. But secretly, I knew it was like being a part of a team or like something physical and activity, because at that point, I had gained probably about 15, 20 pounds, and I literally couldn't fit into my pants for school. So I had to go shopping and buy a bigger size, which is like the worst feeling ever when you can't fit into any of your clothes anymore. So it was about that time that randomly this girl added me on Facebook, which is my coach, Morgan. We have literally like one mutual friend, so I thought it was super random. But for whatever reason, I accepted, and I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have no idea what would have happened if I would have declined it or never responded. So I think, my lucky stars aligned, and for some reason I accepted, and right away I was obsessed with what she was posting. It was speaking to me so much, and you guys, back then it was like a motivational quote. It wasn't even anything crazy, but it was like exactly what I needed, because I was trying to go to the gym by myself, but I wasn't getting results at all because my nutrition sucked. And I didn't really know what I was doing in the gym. I was on the treadmill. I was running 5 miles all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm working out. But really, I had like zero muscle. I like to call myself as like skinny fat is what I started as. I had like no muscle, and I just didn't feel how I wanted to feel. So I was like the ideal customer and coach. Morgan messaged me once when I liked her post, and right away I said no, only because the challenge group that she offered to me went over Christmas. And I was like, yeah, there's no way that I can commit to something like this over Christmas. So I said, no thanks, like, sorry, I'm not, like, I can't do that. And then about 2 weeks later, they came out with a 21-day challenge, and I was like, okay, perfect. 3 weeks, I can commit to this. So I went all in, and I just fell in love with everything. I fell in love with Shanti. I did T25, my first program. Shakeology I got, and I literally wrote in my agenda, like, cancel that shake stuff so that I wouldn't get charged the next month. And lo and behold, I fell in love. I lost 12 pounds in my first month, and I just felt so good because I was a part of something too. The challenge groups meant so much to me. Every single morning when I literally remember this, you guys, I'd wake up, roll over, my alarm would go off. First thing I would do was go in that challenge group and read whatever post Morgan put up. She would put them up at like 4 a.m. So it was always up as soon as I woke up, and it just gave me life, and I was just so excited. So I signed up as a coach like 2 weeks into my challenge group, because right away I was like, what is she doing? She makes money doing this? This is so fun. I love this. So many people would love this. And it was just such a natural progression. So it's funny now when I invite people to coach, because I don't know what they think, because I was a customer first. So that was my journey to becoming a coach, which I really, really love. And I feel like I still lead more so with challenge groups, because I want them to fall in love with the products and the programs, find their results, find their love for it. Then it's so much easy to share about it, because right away when I signed up, it was so easy for me to share, because I truly love the programs. I had already found results, and it just made sense for me to share it with my friends and family. So that's kind of a little bit about my backstory. I coached for 3 years while I was working towards my doctorate in pharmacy. I graduated in 2016, and at that time, I was actually making about the same as a pharmacist with Beachbody, which is mind-blowing. Insert income disclaimer: Beachbody does not guarantee, any amount or whatever. You have to work for it to get it. So that was about year 3 or 4 for me. And so at that point, I decided to see where Beachbody would go. And so I haven't actually worked as a pharmacist at all. And I'm a full-time Beachbody coach, which is like mind-blowing, even to still say to this day. So that's a little bit about my journey. So I have been through a lot of stages while being a coach, right? So when I first signed up, I was a full-time student working towards my doctorate, which is hard, you guys. Oh my gosh, there's so many freaking drugs in the world. Like memorizing everything, and just, it was a lot of work. But Beachbody was like the thing that every day I was excited to do. It like brought me so much joy, and I knew that I just had a passion for it. So I would say on average, it ranged just depending on my exams, what was going on in class, if I had lab, if a class got canceled or something. My days were so sporadic. So I would say I worked anywhere from 30 minutes to 5 hours, just depending on what my day looked like with school. And I'm sure some of you guys might be in a similar boat, maybe work full time, or, you have other commitments. Just make Beachbody work however it can into your life, whether that means waking up super early to get it done, or just pockets of time, or late at night. Whatever is best for you, do that. Because I feel like sometimes, you see people wake up super early and you're like, oh, I have to do that. I have to wake up at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. and do this before. But if you are not a morning person, that's okay. Because when I started my business, you guys, I grew my business at like 11 p.m. at night till like 1 a.m. Like that is when I'm awake. I do not like mornings. I've been off and on, like trying to do it sometimes, but the majority of my business has been built like late at night, because that's when I'm like fired up to message people. So find whatever works for you, find your groove. But the key is consistency at the end of the day. Like that is the only thing, literally the only thing that has set me apart from a lot of other people in this business, is that I've showed up every single day and I'm doing the things that are important for this business. So I'd like you guys to comment in the chat here. What do you think the number one thing is that will move your business forward? And there's no like right or wrong answer. I just want to see, what you guys say to that. And then I'll tell you what I think. Carly, inviting. Yes. Inviting, connecting. Give it a second. Showing up daily, communicating, inviting. Yes. Okay, those are all absolutely incredible. So I want you guys to kind of reflect on your day, and I'm guilty of this too. So reflect on your day. Like, what's the easiest thing in your business to do? Like for you guys, comment in the chat box here. Workout, stories on IG. For me, it's just like scrolling and liking stuff. Like that's so easy. Post workouts, workout pics, daily superfoods. Yeah. Okay. So that is all the easy stuff. And I know for myself, a lot of times I do that first. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, how many invites did I send today? And I'm like, I've sent no invites today. What am I doing with my life? And it's like, oh, I worked today. And it's like, but did you really? So you need to make sure to have like a gut check with yourself at the end of the day, or, just every single week, kind of look back like, am I really working my business? Because there's a lot of things, especially right now with stories, where it can feel like you're working your business, but really you're just being busy on social media, and it may not exactly make your business grow. And I'm guilty of it too. And, I have to check myself sometimes too. And if you guys haven't read Eat That Frog, it is an awesome personal development book. I really need to read it again. But basically, it talks about doing the most important thing first. And in our business, I truly believe it is inviting and talking to people with messages, connecting with them. That is the most important thing. Because if you're not having those conversations with them, they might be watching your stuff, but they don't really feel connected. They don't really know you. You need to reach out and have conversations. And I feel like right now is like the easiest time ever to do that because of Instagram stories. Go through the top of your Instagram stories and watch not coaches, even though I'm guilty of this too. I watch coaches and I'm like, what am I doing? I don't need to watch. These are coaches. Like, let me scroll and find people that aren't coaches, that hopefully aren't involved with Beachbody yet. So sometimes you have to scroll over a little bit on the Instagram stories And then those are the people you want to watch their stories and engage with them and laugh with them if they post something funny or a healthy meal or whatever the case. That's where you can send an easy message and it doesn't even feel weird. Versus in the past, when I first signed up, you used to send like kind of weird, like forced messages like, hey, how have you been? And it's like, okay, this is kind of awkward. Like, can you just ask me if you want to buy my shit or not? But I find Instagram stories is where I connect with people all the time. And I kind of just go based off the vibe. Like if I feel like we like really have a connection, I'm going to invite to my challenge group right away. I'm going to invite to coaching right away if I really feel like they might like it or I feel like they might be a great coach. Because I have a lot of people ask that, do you cold invite? Well, what do you consider a cold invite? If you're connecting with them already, commenting on their stuff, they're liking your stuff, I don't feel like that's a cold invite because they already follow you. You've already been engaging with them. So that's somebody that you definitely want to invite. And two, I had this question yesterday. I forget who asked me. Someone said, so when you invite somebody to coaching and they flat out are like, no, should you invite them again? And what I said is, yes, of course, give it like a month or two, but you can change it up too. Try inviting them to a challenge group. Because sometimes I'll invite to coaching first and they say no. And then a couple months later, a new program comes out. I invite them to the program and then they say yes. So you just never know what is going to work for what person. But as long as you are sending the invites, that's truly the most important part, you guys, because when I'm hitting Success Club, the majority of these people I have talked to over the last 6 years. It's very, very rare that the first time I send an invite, they're like, yes, sign me up. Like very, very rare. I would say like maybe 5%. Most of the people that are signing up are people that I've talked to and engaged with, and I've just been consistent showing up so they continue to see me, and that's why they say yes. And even now too, since coaching's been in Canada for a bit, I have people that, you know, they've quit, maybe their coach quit, and they see that you are still showing up, they're more likely to sign up with you. So even this month, I had 2 girls sign up. They used to be a coach under me like 2 years ago. And then they came back around because one just had a kid. The other one lost 40 pounds. So she's like, I'm ready now. So it's going to be a lot of different scenarios, situations. But the key thing is for you to continue showing up and know that people are going to eventually join you. They are going to want to join you when you show up every single day. Because if, you know, Karen is showing up once a week, and you are showing up 7 days a week or 6 days a week, who are they going to pick? Like, obviously, they're going to pick you because you're showing up 6 out of 7 days. They know that more likely they're going to have a better experience because you are engaged. You are here for the long run. They're going to have a great coach. And that's the end of the story. So you need to make sure that you're being consistent. That's the number one thing, you guys. And make sure that you are inviting, because right now I've talked to a lot of new coaches and they say it's not working for them. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what have you been doing in your business? Well, I'm showing up on my stories. I'm posting my workouts. I'm like, okay, how many people are you inviting? How many people are you talking to? And they're like, oh, well, you know, some people message me from my stories. I'm like, girl, you need to send a message. You need to invite them. And it doesn't even have to be anything crazy at all. Like sometimes I'll send an invite that's just like, hey, whatever your name is, I see you're still watching my stories. Why haven't you joined me yet? Like sometimes I really just like call them out, because sometimes people don't want the fluff. They don't want you to be like, hey, how are you? They want, you know, it's a yes or a no question. And sometimes they need that. Let me see the chat here. I'm just going to read it. Yeah, exactly, Liv. People do come around, and sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2 years. They do definitely come around. Inviting is your biggest struggle. Never know what to say. Okay, I'm gonna like go through. I just sent like all my invites. I'll say them off the top of my head though. Usually mine are super simple. It's a couple sentences and it's just straight to the point. Hey, so-and-so, I appreciate you watching my stories. Thank you for the support. I just wanted to ask and see if you'd like to join Morning Meltdown, this new program with us. It's awesome. I love it. And I think that you'd love it too. Like, don't complicate it. Just say like whatever comes off the tip of your tongue. You can send voice notes if you're not comfortable about that. With that yet, just send the invites because you just never know. And also what I did this month with Morning Meltdown is I went back to all the people that I invited to Transform 20 that responded. So I don't write down every single name that I invite. I write down every name that responds. So if I say, do you want more info? And they've said yes, that's when I write their name down because those are people that are more likely to join. So what I did is I have my notebook right here, actually. I have like a big list of people that said yes or commented on my post. And I just highlight if they ordered, I put a green. I'm not sure what the yellow was for this one. But basically I just have a big list. And that's where I went back to for Morning Meltdown. I just invited all of these people again, because if they've done one program with you, a lot of times, sometimes they've been successful and they want to do another program with you. Sometimes they fell off. Sometimes they went MIA. So invite them to do another program. Maybe something in their life was really hard and they were struggling, and now's a better time to start a new program. So I highly encourage you guys to write down names. If they want info, if they have ever said yes to wanting more coaching info, if they've ever said they wanted more info for a boot camp or Morning Meltdown, 2B Mindset, anything, write their name down, because that is a potential person. Even if they don't say yes right away, they are very likely to say yes at some point. So I feel like that's how I've been really good at hitting Success Club, is that I'm following up with the right people. Obviously, I still do invite new people and add to my list, but the more people that have said yes at some point for more info, your funnel just gets bigger. You have all these people that are potential customer coaches because they've said yes to the info, said yes to learning more, and then eventually they're going to drop down this funnel and say yes. So you want to just keep adding to this big funnel of people, but you're not going to have any people in that funnel if you don't invite. So that's what it comes down to. This business is super simple, you guys. People overcomplicate it all the time. I would rather you send 10 invites a day versus posting 40 Instagram stories. Like, just to be honest, I feel like right now people have been just blowing up stories, which is great. I blow mine up, but you guys, I'm at home all day. Like, I can do that. If you work full time, put your energy and effort into invites and talking to people. Make that your number one priority. I want you guys to get off of this call and invite 15 people to Morning Meltdown. I hope that all of you guys are doing Morning Meltdown. As a new product launches, I have coaches that are like, should I do it? I'm like, yes. No matter what, you hate cardio, I don't care. You have to think business-wise for a new launch, because you never know who you could help with this program. So even if you hate it, that's fine. Most of our programs are only like 4 or 6 weeks. Whatever. You said you did it, you committed to it, that's awesome. If you never want to do it again, that is fine. But you did it, and now you're able to tell people about it, because there's going to be people that like different things than you. And that's okay. That's cool. You want to be the most well-rounded coach as you can. You want to be the most knowledgeable. You want to have experience with these programs. And I know as a brand new coach, I recommended T25 to every single person the first couple months, because that was the only program I had experience with. So I just invited them to T25, all of them. They all did T25 with me, which was awesome. But now I feel like I'm a little bit better of a coach, because I can ask people, how much time do you have? Do you enjoy cardio? Do you enjoy lifting? If they enjoy cardio, Shanti. If they enjoyed lifting, Body Beast, Lift 4, Hammer and Chisel, then you know the different programs. And even if you don't have time, if you just signed up as a brand new coach, obviously it's going to take some time to have knowledge about the different programs, but take some time. Go to YouTube, type in Insanity Beachbody, and you can watch the infomercial and be like, oh, okay, so this is what this program's about. And that's what I did as a new coach to learn more about the program. Is YouTube is amazing, you guys. You do not have to message Liv or Carly and be like, hey, what's Insanity like? Like, if I get that message, I'm like, girl, go to YouTube. Like, I'm not even going to tell you. Obviously, I know, but I'm going to tell you to go to YouTube. YouTube has everything. Like, and I feel like that's another reason why I was successful out the gates. My coach was a full-time teacher. She responded to her messages like every other day, I would say, because she was so busy. And so I wanted an answer. And she wasn't replying. So I had to go figure it out. And I thank her that she didn't respond to me right away. And I had to go figure it out because it made me a better coach. It made me more resourceful. And even now, as my husband's building his business and he's being a motivational speaker, I'm very resourceful on the internet. I can find a lot of shit. I can do a lot of shit because I took that time to go to YouTube. How to use PicMonkey. How to do this on Instagram, I still use YouTube. You can, even right now we're painting in our house. I'm like, how to paint in house. Like, it literally has everything on there. So make sure to utilize YouTube. You'll learn a lot too. And you want to be able to learn, but also take action. So don't just fill your cup with all this knowledge and be like, oh, I had a great day coaching. I watched YouTube videos all day long. It's like, okay, save those for when you're driving in the car or when you're doing laundry or dishes. Save that for YouTube and calls and stuff. I know that's what I always do. Even a lot of team calls, I'll be doing dishes, listening, or I'll be in the kitchen making supper. That's when you want to do those calls, because the valuable time where you need to be focused and doing business work is those invites. And like, I feel like every call that I do, it always goes back to the same things: consistency, inviting, showing up. That's it, you guys. This business is simple. If you continue to do those things, you're going to have success. I promise you that. But you have to be consistent, and not just for a week, not just for a month, not just for 6 months. You have to have a long-term mindset in this business. And as soon as you get fired up and excited, you'll be surprised how many people link arms with you and want to join you. If you're on your stories excited and happy about life, a lot of my coaches say they joined me because they're like, this girl was happy and showing up and working out and she looked good. And like, I wanted that. So that's why I joined her. Simple as that. So that's what you guys want, is to be that light in somebody's life. And if anyone ever says anything negative to you, it's usually because they're not in a good place. Because anyone that is in a good place, why would they waste their time bringing somebody else down? Just to be honest. Let me see. I'm just reading the chat here. Yes, awesome, Liv. I'll try and make a thread too in our team page with some of my recent invites. I'll post in there. Yes. Cooking supper. Yes. I'm hungry too. I'm going to make supper after this. But if you guys have any questions, I feel like that's pretty much all I wanted to say to you guys. Just get you fired up and know that you are on the right path. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of tweaking where you're focusing your time. So say you've been showing up and you're like, oh, I'm not hitting Success Club. Focus more on the invites. Focus more on talking to people and replying to Instagram stories. That's where you want to spend your time, because Instagram stories can take a long time. And I know one of my coaches that was pushing for Diamond, we sat down and I'm like, I just don't get it. You're on stories. You're doing everything that I can see. How many invites are you doing? Like, how much are you connecting with people? And that was the missing link. She would sit and do workout Instagram stories, and it would take her like an hour to post all of these Instagram stories. And I'm like, girl, use time lapse. That's what I use now, you guys, because I was the same way. I was taking way too long to post workout videos. All people just need to see that you did the workout. It doesn't really matter. So just do a couple workout posts or sweaty selfie, prove that you did the workout, and then move on to invites, because that's where you're going to grow your business. I'm just reading the questions. What about if you're not doing Morning Meltdown right now? Do you still invite? I would invite to whatever program that you are doing right now. If whatever boot camp you have going on, just send an invite to that. So if I'm just the last program I was doing was Live 4. So I just said, you want to join our boot camp? So that made it more general. So then you can ask them, how much time do you have to work out? Do you like weights? Do you like cardio? You can actually get all of these workout programs included in Beachbody On Demand. So I would invite to that. But if you're not doing Morning Meltdown yet, I would plan to do it at the beginning of September if it's possible, because a lot of people know about it right now, and even me showing up right now, and I can feel myself getting really good results with it. I'm so excited to post like my before and after pictures from this program, because I know that it's just going to bring a lot of hype. And since it is 100 workouts, even in 50 workouts, you're going to have a pretty good transformation from that. So I'm excited to post my progress pictures at that halfway point. If you go all in with a program, that just makes it easier to promote and be excited about the programs and get people actually wanting to join, because they see that it actually works. So if you guys have any more questions, just type in there, or you can unmute yourself. I know Liv had to hop off. But yeah. Anyone? Any questions?
Your eyebrows look good.
Oh. I have to go back for another appointment. But I got my eyebrows microbladed, you guys, and I'm happy I did, but it kind of did hurt a little bit. But beauty is pain. But yeah, okay, I think that's all, you guys. If you have more questions, just post in the team page, and I hope that you guys have an awesome Thursday night. And don't forget, go send those 15 invites to either Morning Meltdown or your challenge group, boot camp, whatever you have going on. Go send your invites right now, because you could literally change the course of somebody's life. And remember that when you send your invites, that you could literally change somebody's life with this community, with the workouts, with the nutrition, with everything. Like, my life is completely different because coaching came into it. So just remember that when you're sending invites, that this could change somebody's life for the better. So thank you guys for listening. I hope that you have an awesome Thursday. And
thank you, Jenny, for hosting this call. Yeah. We appreciate it. Ladies, we'll be waiting for your trackers in our group and seeing that 15 by the invites, because Jenny challenged you, and you guys should be up for that challenge. So thank you, Jen, for hosting this. We appreciate it, and have a wonderful Thursday.
Yay!